The strong leader can't be undercut by his own team.
I want you to listen, and the audience to watch this as we listen to so-called Republicans in the U.S. Senate revealing their true selves to the nation and working against the interest not only of the nation, but the interest of the president and all of you who voted for them.
And we are very concerned about the additional tariffs that have been proposed.
Well, there is not much support in my conference for tariffs, that's for sure.
We already voted once to disapprove the president on the national security issue of the national emergency at the border. He then vetoed that, and then it was not overridden. Why go through that again?
Why go through that again? Well, Mr. Portman, it would be to save the national interest and your sorry hide, frankly, Senator, because that's what's at stake here. Can you believe Joni Ernst, a freshman senator? This is just an appalling display.
And McConnell needs to show some leadership. He basically needs to sit down with his guys and say, listen, we need this. This president is doing what he promised to do, what we all promised we would do if we got elected, and it's time for us to basically stand up and back him up.
Do you believe I'm overstating it to say that the republic itself is at stake here?
Listen, this Senate is very vulnerable. They would not have been saved the last time if it wasn't for Trump going out and campaigning for a number of them. And the bottom line is very precarious this next go-round. And once you start losing, and that's, it becomes a habit. And the Democrats The
Republicans on Capitol Hill should be well practiced. Let's just see how Chuck Schumer, the minority leader of the Senate, is reacting to the day's events and the perfidy of the GOP. Let's see that full screen. It is clear that lots of people in the administration didn't agree, and I believe that he will back off when faced with the opposition among his own Republicans. Business, Ed, business. The Chamber of Commerce threatening the President of the United States with lawsuits. The Chamber of Commerce financing a revolt in his own party. And by the way, the sorry Republicans in the Senate remembered where they got their checks from. And they're doing Tom Donahue's bidding. I wonder, do you suppose the Mexican foreign minister, before meeting with the Speaker of the House, went over to talk to Tom Donahue first about the border?
Could very well, could have been driven up there by him. But at the end of the day here, again, this is a time for everybody to basically step up and support this president. This is a critical time for this presidency. It's a critical time for this country. And if somehow we lose this battle here, how are you going to deal with the Chinese? How are you going to deal with the Russians? How are you going to deal with the Mexicans? Now's the time for this president to have all the strength that he needs and to execute his
It is also time to let your senators, your elected representatives, know exactly how you feel, because if you think that the forgotten man and woman is somehow going to be regarded by these rhino Republicans in the Senate who are willing to betray the president, who for many of them was the difference between victory and having a seat in the Senate and being on to another job, of course, lower paying and certainly less prestigious than U.S. Senator. We see how prestigious it is. Please let all of your elected representatives know how you feel.